Kate, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Tara.
I am so excited. We're going to talk about all the things. We're going to talk about the summit. We're going to talk about your background, all of the kind of stuff. So, for folks that aren't familiar with your work, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so I am the founder and CEO of the Millionaire Mother, and my mission is really simple to help modern mothers become well resourced women. I really think that there's so much taboo, so much crossfires in the space of motherhood around are we working? Are we stay at home? Like all of these identity labels. And my whole background so I'm a business coach for mothers. Women entrepreneurs who are either pregnant, thinking about motherhood, curious about motherhood, or already in the trenches, build, scale, and grow businesses that are built for motherhood rather than businesses or careers that ask us to try to shove our motherhood into, a pencil skirt that doesn't fit anymore. You know what I'm talking about,
No,
right?
I
Like
know exactly what you're talking about.
the modern was built by men for men, by maidens for maidens, or for mothers who are asked to, in a super unfair way, work like we don't have kids. And I just think that's very problematic to say the least. So, my whole mission is to support mothers both with the infrastructure and the identity work to build, grow, and scale companies that are built with motherhood at the center, not the margins.
I love that. I was laughing when you said that because it made me think of before I had my son, I worked at Nickelodeon and I decided to, and I loved that. It was a wonderful company. I was there for 5 years. And when I had him, I initially thought that I was going to go back full time. And during maternity leave, I decided to stay home with him. That was because I wanted to go back maybe part-time or hybrid. That like hybrid didn't even exist back then, but that was like some sort of idea that I was like toying around with. And they were like, yeah, no, it's all or nothing. And so then I just chose to obviously stay home with him. And then I started my own thing in Modern Mom Probs. And here we are 10 years later with all of that. And it's just wild when you said about like going back into the pencil skirt, because I was like, that's exactly what I would have been doing. So it just made me
Totally.
chuckle.
Oh my gosh, for sure. It's like, yeah, the image of that, right, is like us in our, Frida baby postpartum mom undies trying to like wiggle and shimmy our way into clothes that don't fit. And I think about, I often say, and I think about in my body of work, like our bodies, our physical bodies grow, transform, and change so much. For business owners, why do we think that our bodies of work need to stay the same? And so, but we don't have a lot of conversation around that. What does it look like to outgrow a career or a business that you once loved, for our entrepreneurs to want to morph and change your business slightly, to want to center motherhood a little bit more. Or for, I also work with a lot of women who have very strong, multi-decade careers as whether that's as a therapist in corporate, in the medical field, some kind of background that was very fulfilling. But upon having kids, it's like, oh, I don't want to work the same way, but I also don't want to let go of all of that fire and that passion and that expertise. I just want to express it now on my own terms in my own way. And I really think, and I'm sure you can attest to this running your own business as well, that entrepreneurship is such a powerful, especially with the internet, like we have at our fingertips the ability to build $1 million movement or whatever size movement we want to build at home at our fingertips in a way that is really unprecedented at any other point in history. So I just think it's such an exciting time to be a mom.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm so grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful for us to have the opportunities that we have right now, and I know a lot of ambitious women feel the pressure to choose between career success and motherhood. So, how have you personally navigated that?
I love this. I think that that pressure to choose, the way that I've navigated that is really examining what part of me is actually believing that. Like, where does this narrative come from? Let's just hold the phone for a second. And I think this is a really healthy practice with any kind of inner ultimatumy sort of pressure. And I think that for many of us, we haven't actually seen a model or a template that looks like the kind of success that's integrated. And I think that pressure to choose really comes from historically, women have had to choose, right? We have had to choose between, are you going to go all in for your career, make sacrifices for your family, and really just like rise and shine in the public eye? Or are you going to devote yourself to having a richly fulfilling home life? And I am not here to tell any woman like there is one way to do this. And I think that's what's so powerful. But the way that I've navigated it is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What even is this internal narrative of we have to choose? I don't know if you're familiar with Byron Katie's work, The Work, but she has this wonderful line where she says, you know, is this true? Is this true? Is this absolutely true? Can I be 100% certain that this is true? And I think that asking ourselves that question, is this true that I have to choose? Is this absolutely true? How can I be sure that this is true? That has really helped me reframe even that question for myself. And one of the biggest gifts that I have given myself, and so I have 3 children under 5. My eldest is my daughter, Ella, and when she was born, I knew without a shadow of a doubt she was gonna be a girl before finding out the gender. I just knew it in my bones. She came in straight away, and I thought about from the moment that she touched down earthside touchdown, that's a very nice way of putting it, roared out of me, earthside is more to the point. I just knew I am her template. Anything I can teach her, any nice little messages in a storybook before bed, that's great. But what she's actually going to be taking notes from is who I am in the world and what I embody in the world. And if I was going to just fall into an archetype of motherhood which had sacrifice and giving up my dreams, my personality, my creative pursuits to quote unquote be a good mom, I think there's a real noble intention behind that in many instances. But I think the real danger, because I know, our generation, if we had mothers like that, we're still healing or have been on a healing journey to undo that lesson, that love looks like self abandonment, that love looks like silencing parts of ourselves to keep the peace and keep everybody else happy. I knew, especially having a daughter, I want to become a template that makes her proud, not just for her, but for me and for the ripple effect that that's going to have across generations. So it was really this wake up call of why am I putting these two things at odds with each other? And what does it actually look like to integrate them?
Ah, I love that, Kate. That's so good. It's true. I have a son, and so I guess for me personally, I never really considered that the way that you obviously did with Ella, and I love that, and I think it's so important for us as parents and as mothers to model this for the next generation. Like, in my house, I often think about modeling what domestic labor looks like and
Hmm.
roles and who does what and all of that kind of stuff, and so I think about that, but I've never necessarily thought about it from a entrepreneurial or standpoint, and I love that perspective.
Totally. It's like that phrase, and I also have 2 boys, also have a Jack, so I'm right there with you on that other side, but it is so interesting having a daughter. Like, I've seen this meme that I relate to more than anything. It's like me trying to raise a strong, independent daughter while also trying to survive raising a strong, independent daughter, and she's almost 5, so I'm like, "Yes, I feel this in my soul." But
Yeah.
it's so true, right? We think whether we have a boy or a girl, we want them to be confident. We want them to be self assured. We want them to take healthy risks. Like we know from research and human development studies, healthy risk taking is such a part of neurological development, of identity, self concept. If I am not prepared to take risks on myself, to put myself out there, to speak confidently in the things that matter to me, to build a business, even if I don't know how or don't have a guarantee, how am I expecting her? They do not just model what we say, they model who we are. And I think about that all of the time. So that for me just popped any illusory bubble that these two things had to be opposite. I really see like my legacy in my work and my legacy in my home as inextricably connected.
Mhm. I love it. 'Cause it's true. It is. It, like, absolutely, there are no 2 ways about that. I love that. So we have, I say we because 'cause I'm part of it. We have the Motherhood and Ambition Summit coming up.
Yes.
So you're obviously the founder of the Millionaire Mother and the creator of this summit. How did you realize you came to a point where you're like, "This summit needs to exist. I need to create this from scratch," and
Yes.
how did you pick the thought leaders involved?
Okay. First of all, I'm gonna just say this. I hope I'm like, I feel like I could say absolutely anything on this show. I normally hate summits. I think they're really boring. And I just want to say that for anybody listening up front who's like, oh, summit snooze. Like, I got you, girl, and I'm with you. And I was like, if I were to create a summit, what would I want it to be like? First things first, no 2 hours of yapping per guest that I have to wade through, like, I'm, like, digging to the bottom of a car seat to try to find the one goldfish that I'm looking for. Like, no, none of that. We are doing punchy, short, to the point wisdom. The reason I wanted to create this, Sarah, is, like, I just believe to my core, we were not meant to do any of this alone.
Yes.
Motherhood, entrepreneurship, it is a team sport. It is
Yes.
not a solo game. And what better way to learn than being in a room, a virtual room with other incredibly accomplished, amazing mothers who have done extraordinary things, built huge platforms like yourself, written New York Times best-selling books, like done all of this. Have, I don't know, between us, I need to tally it up. We have like a zillion kids between us, but also who are in the
Zillion.
trenches. Like, this is what is so cool. None of us are like, well, now at my like wizened old age, I have it all figured out. We're like, no, dude, let's exchange notes. How are you surviving? And I just think that that unfiltered, real, raw conversation is our number one growth advantage in business. Like, I invest really heavily in being in a lot of masterminds, clubs, communities to not just network in this like superficial way, but to really grow deep bonds because in motherhood and in business, you are going to need people to lean on. You are going to need women to lend you their advice. You are going to need to rely on others in moments when you are like, how do I actually do this? But I need both a pep talk and a freaking roadmap. Like, I need both of them. And that is what this summit is designed to be, is your anyone who's listening an opportunity to get in the room with extraordinary women. There are 13 speakers. Tara is one of them, and hear their tried and true insights, their real raw answers. Like, I ask very specific questions inside of the summit. And for anyone who listens to the Millionaire Mother podcast, my show is a very different format. It's like very just let's get right in there. What has worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? What are your what's like the practical wisdom that has changed the game for you? And I will tell you, I am selfishly obsessed with having done this summit because I have not only gotten to facilitate, but I've gotten to listen to all of these answers. So I'm over here like nodding my head, taking notes, like, yup, yes, that. I need a little bit of that. I need a little bit of that. And it's just so, so juicy. So I basically created what I needed and what I know that millions of other mothers around the world need too.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's the best part about being a podcaster is because you get to ask these questions and then soak in all of the wonderful
Right?
answers.
It's the
And
best.
it's the best. It's either like free therapy, free advice, connecting with people, networking on a deeper level, having like
Yes.
really like juicy, like you said, conversations. And so I love that. I think we're very lucky in what we do because of it.
So true. I couldn't agree more.
So let's just talk a little bit about some of the expertise that these thought leaders are bringing because it's not all just one size fits all.
No, this is what is so cool. So there are, like I said, the leaders that I picked are really across a diverse range of industries, from the parenting and motherhood space to the business and leadership space. There's one woman who's from more of like the birth work, woman's work, womb work space. So, and we have experts and thought leaders ranging whose bodies of work, like Rebecca Campbell, for example, who's a deep, like spiritual thought leader, arguably the spiritual thought leader of our time. Women like Kelly Hubble, who's really all about systems and dialing it. She is the founder of My Sage House.
I love Kelly.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Love her.
for me, it was like, what? And then Morgan Cutlip, Dr. Morgan Cutlip, whose background and body of work is all about relationships and sharing the mental load in relationship at home. And so it is this really robust and rich background and diverse perspectives, which is what is so cool. And I really was intentional about choosing women from different fields, all incredibly accomplished. And again, all in the trenches of motherhood because I know that that microcosmic representation speaks to every woman's experience. Like Dominique Knock, for example, she's a single mama who's doing that expat life half the year with two
So
girls
cool.
and
So
she is
cool.
amazing. Oh my gosh, I interviewed her. It was either yesterday or the day before. I was like crying at her interview. I'm like, let me not mess up my mascara. I'm like, she must be like a preacher's daughter. She just like took us to church. It was so moving. And just everybody has this really rich, robust perspective. Again, all from their lived experience. We have women who are 3 months postpartum. I think you said what Jack is 11 or 13?
He's just about to be 13.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's just about to be 13. So from 3 months to 13, I think another woman actually has kids who are even older than that. But it's such a rich cross section of experiences of motherhood and particular perspectives steeped in, decades long bodies of work. So that is really why I created the panel in the way that I did. There are obviously countless women, building incredible businesses alongside motherhood, but I feel like this crew in particular, there is something for absolutely everybody here.
I love it. I can't wait to listen to Dominique's.
Oh
Hers
my
is gonna
gosh,
be
you're going to be
so
obsessed with her.
good.
I love her.
Love, love, love. I can't wait to hear that story. No, it's gonna be so good. It really is gonna be so good. For the average person who says to you, Kate, like, yeah, you've done it all. Okay, you're the millionaire mother, but like, I can't be. I just am not in a position to get to that point. What would you tell them? What is like one mindset shift that you can share with us to get a person to feel like, yeah, I can move towards bigger dreams. I can pursue this big goal.
Okay. If I was in a room with that person, I would put my hands on her shoulder. I would just be like, honey, like, tell me what do you mean? Like, what is going on there? And she would probably start crying because there would be something deeper underneath that. Maybe what she actually needs to hear is like the reflection of, is this what you want? Like, don't pursue what I'm building because you think like, oh, she's got some followers on Instagram and a little blue check mark next to her name, so I should want that. Like, you might not want the business that I have, the life that I have. This might not be your expression of success and quote unquote having it all. This is what it looks like for me. The first thing that I would do is return her power to her and say, what do you want? What is your true definition of having it all right now? And she might be like, well, actually, I would love to make $125,000 a year and work 12 hours a week and be home full time with my kids and like do that in the margin, like nap time and after hours. That might be her definition of having it all. So the first thing I would be like, take everyone you are putting on a pedestal right off of there and put on the pedestal what your dream actually is, because that is what this is all about. It's not about, seven figures or bust. What is your version of wildly wealthy? What does that look like for you? And I think every mother needs to radically reclaim that for herself. So I would get her head right about what she's actually looking at. And the second thing I would say, if part of what was playing out was imposter syndrome, I don't know if I have what it takes. That's where I would just like get my old like basketball coach head on and I would be like, sister friend, can I remind you that your uterus, I posted this today, your uterus is designed to expand 500 to 1000x its original capacity. And you're trying to tell me that you don't have what it takes to birth your dreams? Get out of here with that nonsense. Like, stop it right now. You are capable of so much more than you believe. Why are you feeding the wolf that says you can't? Why are you telling yourself you don't have what it takes when you have already produced a 3D miracle? Like, how dare you advocate against yourself like that? Like, come on now. And so I would just bring her right back to basics. I would remind her who the bleep she is, and we would get to work on putting that business in place.
Yes, 1,000 times. Yes. I love that. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna take that, and that's gonna be the cut. That's gonna go on
Great, yes.
that's the video
Blast it
clip
far and
right
wide.
there. That's the video clip. Oh my God, I love that so much. I'm gonna ask you a question, Kate, that I ask all of my guests, and I'm super curious to hear what your answer is.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest modern mom problem today?
Embodying a new archetype. What I mean by that is we know mother as martyr. We are still very much learning mother as matriarch. And what I mean by matriarch is this embodiment. The martyr mother says, the more I deplete myself, the more loving I am, the more worthy of love I am, the more nurturing I am. The matriarch is poised, is centered, is so benevolent, and is exceptionally powerful because she allows herself to receive support. She allows herself to be materially resourced. She allows herself to recognize that there is a reciprocity between what she is able to give, how she is able to steward, and how supported she is. I think that actually, I had to like really think about that for a second because I really do believe that we're breaking through, and I'm like up here with a pickaxe at the spearheading this. I'm like
Chip, chip,
we
chip,
are
chip,
we are
chip.
chipping away, but we are really starting to birth, I believe, in our culture a new archetype for the modern mother. So that's what I would say.
Oh my God, these answers, you are so brilliant. I'm just going to keep you forever and
Okay.
just put you in my
Great.
pocket.
Keep me
And
yeah.
anytime I need some advice, I'm going to be like, Kate, give me some advice.
Obsessed. I'm here for it. You know, we need each other. That's literally
It
like
is.
it's conversations like this, hearing women that you're like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with her. I've known her forever. Like, literally, can I just keep her in my back pocket? That is why this summit exists. That's why this show is so amazing. It's like we need these mothers in our life.
Yeah, 1,000%. So tell everyone, how can we sign up for the summit?
1,000,000%. Well, click the link that Tara has for you. The Motherhood and Ambition Summit, wherever it is, up, down. I don't know where this is on the page. So
Go
just
there.
click it where you see it. It is going to be so powerful. You're going to get in the room with these amazing, amazing women. The summit drops on 10/10, October 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern. But the only way you're able to access it is to register. So definitely go ahead, register, sign up. Shoot me a DM, shoot Tara a DM. Let us know you listen to this on Instagram. Let us know what you're most excited about. I can't wait to hear from you.
Love it. You are amazing. I know that this summit is going to be so successful and it's going to help so many mothers. And I'm so grateful for the work that you do, Kate. Thank you so much for being
Same.
here.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.